starting off?
Sure,
today?
why not? It's always
great.
good to mix things up.
This
they
is
say
your idea,
in
Todd.
bed.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
They say to add in bed, like when you open up fortune. You've never done it before? You get fortune cookies, you add in bed at the end of your fortune. You've never done this.
That's something
I'm not the only person in the world
I
that
feel
has done
like
this.
that's
I do this
maybe
with my
something.
wife.
I would have done it at 15.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like something I would have done in high school for sure. Not as a grown
I'm
adult.
52 and I'm still doing it. It's kind of fun.
Fair enough. Good for you, Todd. Good for you.
Why don't you try it the next time you get Chinese, Justin?
I just had one for lunch. I still have the thing in my truck.
What was it today?
I don't remember.
You're full of it. What was your
Dude,
fortune?
I don't remember.
Dude, everyone remembers their fortune.
You
that they
remember?
Had during lunch.
No way. No way.
Now you just blew it, dropping that. Now he's got to beep that.
Oh, that was part of the show?
Yes, we are, dude. Well, might as well. This is what makes these
I have
things
no
interesting.
idea what it said. Some enlightening and uplifting, motivational something.
Is going to happen in bed. There you go. That's the start of
happiness.
the watering hole this week.
You can find happiness nearby, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I don't write fortunes for a living.
You've never kept a fortune before?
No, it's still in my truck. I'll go get it and I'll send you a picture of it after work tonight.
All righty.
So what are we talking about on the old watering hole graph? Got my Arctic vibe.
You're calling it. Oh, so what? We already dumped death water or whatever
Liquid
it was?
Liquid death?
Liquid death?
No, we didn't have any here. All we had was Celsius. So Arctic Vibe's the best one. It comes in the variety pack, so I figured I'd snatch one out of the fridge before they were all gone because they get cherry picked quick.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Then maybe we just need to get more of those if they're getting cherry picked so quick.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next time we order all Arctic Vibes.
Well, I think we start off this week's water hole talking about a recent hunt that Josh Sturgill, one of our teammates from Tennessee, came up, and I had the fortunate fun, even though Justin ripped me pretty hard on this. I'll just roll with it.
What do you mean, dude? I was just reading the YouTube comments.
I'm just going, listen,
If
when it comes to
all
Justin,
the days when Brandon should have the YouTube comments printed out for us,
12,000. Listen, this video in 3 days got 12,000 views. The haters always come out, Justin. It's about the 11,950 that didn't comment that obviously enjoyed the videos. Oh yeah, that's exactly what happens. I found it to be an absolutely great hunt. Josh found it to be a great
because you were there.
Well,
you
listen,
always
then you guys can go back and watch the video if you haven't watched it. Yes, I need to improve on some of my video issues. I don't film.
What happened there?
Listen, it's simple. I don't film people on a regular basis all the time. I don't always hang out of saddles and film people and hang tree stands in the dark. And when you start doing that, and you don't know what your tree stands, well, you don't know what your trees are like, and you're trying to set a stand, it doesn't work. Then you can't put your fourth arrow arm where you want it. So I ended up going freehand. It bit me in the butt, okay? But here's what all that matters is the kill shot. I was steady as could be.
This guy said, this was 2 hours ago.
You know, we might as well just.
This is great timing.
We might as well just.
His name is Wisconsin Bowhunt.
Thanks, Wisconsin Bowhunt. I haven't even heard this yet. I'm thanking you.
Well, he starts off with saying, "Love you, Todd, but you suck at videoing over the shoulder. Best hunt of the year, my ass." And there's a plethora of other ones.
Okay.
One guy said, "Please keep us posted on the double Drop-Tine buck." Any updates? I don't think there's any updates, right?
Well, I mean, I've gone back and hunted after that, and
But I mean, like trail camera pictures,
no.
neighbors with trail cameras.
No, I've reached out. No one's contacted me. You know, maybe someone shot it. But you know, one interesting thing with that is, during that whole process, I did meet somebody who actually talked to somebody who actually saw that deer almost a mile away. You know.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, dude, a mile is nothing.
Exactly.
Mile's nothing. So, I know we've talked about like the farm that I hunt locally, and dude, I'm very, very fortunate enough that it's a big farm. And I mean, from the southernmost tip that I can hunt to, you know, the far corners of the northern tip is more than a mile. And I will frequently get pictures of deer on 2 cameras a mile away in the same day.
Yes.
Dude, it is nothing for them to cover a mile. We are so dictated, like the way we think by like the boundaries of the properties we hunt or roads or fields or whatever. Like our brains just cannot really comprehend like how far they really do travel around during the day. So yeah, and dude, if you were to take most rural areas like where you guys were at and drop a pin where you saw that deer and then extend it out a mile and draw a circle around, that is a huge ass area.
Yeah, I mean,
and
actually,
how many people are hunting in there?
Yes. Well, in
you
this
know?
particular case, actually, this guy said may have even been further than a mile. And dude, it happens. It is what it is. I truly.
I think it was Tyler Rector the other day in one of our group texts shared a map of a deer that, gosh, somebody shot, maybe Dustin or somebody shot when he was hunting with him a couple years ago. And he had pictures, I believe, over the summertime of that deer on a different farm. And as the crow flies, like if you just drew a straight line between those 2 points, it was something like 4 miles away, which is...
Yeah, and we've talked about comment below
think a
on how
mile's
far you
far.
think. Yeah, I mean, for a
Holy
deer,
crap.
I mean, a mile's nothing. When you think of 40 acres, what? That's a quarter. That's a quarter of a mile, 40 acres. So, I mean, really, 80 acres is a half a mile. So if you go 40,
Keep
40,
going
40,
with the
40.
math. Let's go.
I mean, you're talking about a mile is really just 40 and another 40. I mean, you got, it's nothing. It's 160 acres.
Well,
Is a line. I mean,
As a
just
line,
40,
yeah.
40, you're just going straight across. You think of the pheasant hunting club. That's 1 mile. You know, just
yeah, that's what I'm
nothing.
saying. Like my spot that I hunt, I've never really figured out how big it is, but it's like I've always said somewhere between 600 and 800. It's a bigger farm, but we can only hunt some of it. And so yeah, again, my cameras are well over a mile from one another. And like what's in between them sometimes is where you think like, oh, there's no way a deer's getting from here to here during the daylight because they got to cross this field or go across this road or this parking lot or this thing. And lo and behold, there they are. You know, so yeah, they cover so much more ground than I think we give them credit for sometimes.
Listen, I'm hopeful. I really am hopeful that double dropper made it. I don't know. I got extra cameras out.
In my
I've seen a lot
experience
of
with
deer
some of
make
these
it,
deer
but-
that get wounded like that, is they go somewhere and they kind of like move in to a spot and they don't move much anymore.
I know.
Like
that's what I
I've
would
had
do.
for sure,
I'd be laying
but
there
I've
going,
had over
"Help."
the years several deer, you know, that have been wounded, whether they're hit by a car or shot by a hunter or whatever, that have like moved in, and they're like the type of deer where like you get pictures of them constantly in the same spots. Like they just don't go and travel very far, you know. So wherever he's at, assuming he's alive, I just don't think he's roaming a whole lot.
And I just
anymore.
don't think he was on the spot that I had to begin with. It wasn't one that he frequent very often. So I really
Right.
don't expect to pick him up, to be honest with you.
Sure,
So,
but it would
I will
be nice
keep
like
people
if,
updated.
if
I went-
somebody out
yes.
there like got a picture of him, right?
Yeah, he's still
even
alive.
if somebody shot him during gun season, like it is nice to have closure when a deer you're hoping to see dies.
Especially
you know,
that one.
That way, for me, I've always felt like I'm not going to be happy about it, right? But at least I'm not going to spend all my time chasing a deer that's already dead.
Fair enough.
That's kind of, you know, when you think about post-season scouting, you know, which is we tell people to post-season scout, you know, February, March, right?
It's the best time to do it.
It is the best time to do it. But the problem is, especially I've gone on some of these like out-of-state trips where it's like I go down in the spring and you're scouting a piece of public or something like that, and you're trying to formulate a plan for the next year. The problem with that is always like I have no idea if the deer that made that sign is still even alive. Right? Without like current trail camera data the next year.
I agree.
You know, so I feel like in some cases I've been hunting deer that like are just gone and dead. And that sucks. You know, when you find out that they're dead and you've spent the last, you know, month or 2 months. I mean, I think we just, you showed me a picture this morning of Brandon holding a dead buck. And he was like, yep, just like I thought, my number one buck that
We talked
I've been
about 2 or
hunting-
3 weeks ago. And
I've been hunting all fall hoping he's going to show up. And guess what? He died of EHD during the summer. He's never even been here. And how many times and sits and, you know, plans have I made around this one deer? And he was laying in the woods dead, you know, the whole time.
I'm a little disappointed, though, looking at the comments here and going into the
I
notes.
would be too.
And you were supposed to put the link to the Dramamine in the.
Because your footage was making everybody seasick.
Oh, it wasn't. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I wonder if Brandon actually just. I
paid him a little under the table to shake the footage up.
Yeah.
Just to make you look bad.
I don't think it was that bad. But
I mean, if
You should see the stuff I cut.
if Sturgill was paying you to be his camera guy, he should get his money back.
it's been a guy. I'm gonna tell you right now. I lost a chili contest this week at the office.
Todd's having a rough week.
Last place in the chili contest. I mean, I figured I'd go. Hormel beat me in the middle of the road.
Dude,
Someone stuck Hormel chili
finished.
in there.
Yeah, somebody in the office just did.
And mine was
chili.
all fresh stuff with elk, and I finished last. That's a bunch of. Dude, it was good.
So bad.
It was not. It's because you're allergic
Have
to
you ever
mushrooms.
eaten chili before? Because that was not chili. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't chili, dude.
It was like a stew chili. I like my chili chunky. Listen, fine.
We all like
I got
chunky
last
chili.
place. I owned it. I took it home, and I'm going to eat it myself. So
Good, because nobody here's gonna eat it.
all right, let's keep moving forward, Justin. I promise to keep people updated. I would love to hear how far your trail cameras have showed you guys with the farthest buck you've ever seen go from point A to point B. I would say of all the trail camera photos that I have of people that I know, I want to say I really do think the farthest one I ever had is about 2 miles.
I
Of legitimate
think
me talking
2-3
to somebody.
miles is more common than we think. You know,
Yeah.
what always interests me, and I forgot who I read an article by not too long ago, or maybe it was a video I watched. It was somebody talking about like annual patterns of deer. And that's what I've always really loved about trail cameras. So I feel like with trail camera data during the season is tough because you're always just chasing behind them. By the time, even with cell cameras, you're kind of chasing behind them because they're
Yes.
just moving. By the time you get a picture and you get out there, like, yeah, it's possible the deer's maybe in the area, you know, and there's certain scenarios where if they're in a little block of timber in the morning and you could try to go in and, you know, but most of the time you're chasing behind them. So I feel like the real benefit for trail cameras is that year over year data, because you have certain deer that's like, I've had deer where I know they're going to be there like the first couple weeks of October and then they're going to be gone. Right. And then maybe they show back up in December. I've had some of those deer that just kind of leave during the rut for whatever reason and then come back in December.
You're praying they come back. I'm waiting
You're
for
hoping
one
that
right
they
now.
come back.
I got one
right?
that I'm just hoping.
But it is interesting how deer have those kind of personalities. Some are homebodies
Yes.
and stay there all year. Some leave and never come back. Some leave and come back. But like, again, if you're fortunate enough to have access to property where you can get these pictures of deer year after year, you can start to recognize some of those patterns. And then that's when I feel like if you know this deer shows back up around Thanksgiving, let's say, like the last 2 seasons he's been gone, and Thanksgiving he shows up and he's on this side of the farm.
Yes.
Like, again, you don't know necessarily that he's even alive still, but at least you could get in there and try to be waiting for them when they show up versus
All I'm
getting
thinking
a
about is
picture
my
and
buck
then
right now.
going in.
I know. I'm thinking of one buck, but I think he's dead too.
You know,
hoping.
last year I had one that historically would show back up like in late November, early December, and he didn't show up until almost Christmas time last year because I was starting to think, oh, dude, he's dead. He showed back up around Christmas time, and then the neighbor killed him like a couple days later. So I was like, son of a gun. That's just the worst when all of a sudden the neighbor's texting you and he's like, hey, got one, and you look at it and you're like, oh.
That's what happens right
I
now.
want to be that neighbor, right? I feel like I'm never that neighbor.
We have been in the past.
I have not
Yes,
ever
you
been
have.
that
Dude,
neighbor.
you've shot plenty of deer in the past.
None that my neighbors were like, mad that I killed.
I probably should stop reading these comments right now.
Like,
I love this guy. Justin is a good guy.
yeah.
But Todd is a strange dude.
You know, I mean, he's just being observant.
Oh. He
People
said
on
he
YouTube-
stopped watching because Todd is odd. Tony, I haven't met you yet, buddy, but I'm gonna stalk you now. I'm gonna look you up here because maybe
You
I
get a
think
friend
you're
request
weird
him.
too. I'm gonna
That'll be a
friend
great
request
way
him.
for you to convince him that you're not odd.
All right, we're done with this. We're done with this episode. We're moving on to bigger and better things. Justin, we got a cold front coming in on Thursday.
Ooh.
It's December the 10th. right now.
Indeed it is. Is it muzzleloader season this weekend?
No, dude, every weekend I feel like
I
this
think it
blaze
is.
orange. Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm positive it is. I'm almost positive it is. Yes, I think it is. So yeah, so get your blaze orange. It is.
I haven't put it away yet. It's still out, so may as well just keep it. It is December 13th through the 15th this year. So yes, that is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this coming weekend.
Are you still hunting? What's your plan? It gets hard during the holidays right now. I'm just feeling stressed. Feeling like
From what?
Oh, dude,
Dude,
there's
your
just so
kids
much to
in
do.
college. You got
Dude,
like
all
what do
these
you got
end
to
of the
do?
year taxes, business, freaking. We got Christmas parties. We're going away.
Our Christmas party.
It's still a day. It's still a day.
It's a half an afternoon.
Well, there's no hunting that evening
There is no hunting.
unless
that
we go
evening.
to your spot.
We
Let me
could,
film
just
you over the shoulder.
The whole company can come. The whole
Dude, they could do a
company.
drive for you. Just drive the whole property. We'll get the whole
Just drop
company.
everybody off at one end. You
Yes.
just at the other end, guys.
Just push them right
I
through
remember
to you.
growing up watching my favorite videos, dude, when I was a kid, bow hunting October whitetails with the Wenzel brothers.
They were doing. I think they would do deer drives.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the Wenzel
yeah.
brothers. It was Rick Blas and Gene Beitelspacher. I remember all the guys that were in the videos. But they would have like videos of literally doing deer drives
they
with
did.
archery equipment and shooting them on the run. Mm-hmm. As
They were on the
came
ground.
tearing, yeah,
Yes.
as the deer comes tearing by and they're just flinging arrows at them. I remember going, my dad was a member of an archery club, Fox Valley Archers, when I was a kid. And they had these
Fox Valley
targets
Archers.
that were strung on like a cable. And you would stand up on like the hill and somebody would pull the cable and the
Release the
target
deer.
would come down and you'd have to shoot it as it was moving by to
Speaking of
simulate.
targets, our targets showed up in the garage.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, my target at my house is literally warm.
We got
There
burned.
is a hole in it.
It's in the garage.
A hole.
It's in the garage.
In
If
it.
you didn't know, it was in the garage. We have new Reinhardt target.
So yeah, deer drives with bows. Maybe we should be bringing that back. You think?
Dude, I think they had some pretty killer spots to be able to make that work. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin to go
I think
do
they
that.
were in like Montana or something at the time. if
I have no
recall.
idea, but dude, how come it was always more than one? It was like multiple bucks, dude, just come running by. It was freaking
Those were the
awesome.
heydays of deer hunting.
Oh
before the
man,
DNR
we
killed them
already
all.
we already did this.
Somebody
heyday
asked
thing.
one of our comments of why is the DNR shooting the deer. So we are in northern Illinois, which is a CWD area for Illinois. We've had it for over 20 years now. And part of the...
Is it 20 now?
Yeah, I think it was 2003 or 4, something like that, when they discovered it in Illinois, because it was a few years before that in Wisconsin. So we
Luckily,
are...
Brandon hasn't got it from eating all the venison we've been feeding him over the years.
We're in this like herd reduction zone or whatever they call it. So basically what happens is when they find a CWD positive deer, so it's a voluntary test. If you agree to let the DNR test your deer, they ask you, like, give me the nearest crossroads.
I always gave him Justin's cross.
I tell them Todd's property, and they pin it on a map or whatever. And then if it comes back positive, you know, they drop a pin there, and then they go up during the winter and they do aerial surveys with helicopters when there's snow on the ground, and they look for and they chart how many deer per square mile there are in these areas, and then they have whatever their target number is for how many deer per square mile they want, which is always less than how many are there, coincidentally enough. And then what they do is they either go into public lands,
Yeah, less
so
than
if there's
what we want.
any forest preserves or publicly owned lands in the area, they'll go in there and they will put out piles of corn and sit in ground blinds and shoot them with rifles. Or they will go ask
They're not
landowners.
discriminating. Doesn't matter. Big buck, little buck.
Yeah, because they do this mostly
Doesn't
in
matter.
like February and March is when I see the trucks out there shooting.
Yep.
They used to do it literally right behind the office here. I'd see them on my way home. Or they'll go to private landowners and say, hey, private landowner, we're with the DNR and there's this disease that's going to turn all your deer into zombies and there's too many deer. Would you mind if we went out on your proproperty?
Now, listen,
and
we
set
can't
up
quote that
piles
they
of-
said that, but we have a feeling it sounded like that.
In my mind, that's what they say. And would you mind if we go on your property and set out piles of bait and shoot them with rifles? And they're like, okay. So then they go out and they shoot the deer and they try to reduce the population to the acceptable level, I guess you would say, of deer that they want.
It's not my acceptable level, though.
It's yeah. Well, again, hunters and DNR, I don't think we'll ever be on the same page with an acceptable.
What was the name of the
level
movie?
deer.
Oh, Living Dead Walking. What was it? What was that?
Walking Dead was a TV show.
With the where people turned into zombies.
Yeah, yes,
and you
indeed.
shot them with crossbows.
Yeah, I feel like that show is a zombie. It just won't die. It's like it's still going. I turned on something the other day, and it was like an offshoot of The
Daryl
Walking
Dixon
Dead. It was
is
like a
like
Daryl. I was like, this poor guy. He's like the only guy left, I feel like, from the original cast is still hanging on. And he's like, dude, they just keep paying me to do it, so I just keep coming back.
I've got a little Daryl action figure on my desk.
Yeah, he was great back in the day. Now he's like 60, and he's still walking the earth just killing zombies. He's got to get old, man.
He's got a lot of bolts.
Yeah. Where does he get all these arrows from?
It sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
As
I
far
don't
as
know.
efficient weapons for
Did
killing
you really
zombies.
fully watch all of them? Dude, I gave up.
No,
I
stopped somewhere in the Negan.
Yeah,
part
me
of it.
too. Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know
I
how far I
stopped
got.
one year. They did like a half a season, and then they took a break. And
I gave
dude, I
up.
just never came back for the rest. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
We've got Kurt in here this week, we filmed a nice interview with Kurt, one of our great guys that hunts with our team. And we're going to start getting some more other teammates up here or get them logged in so we can start interviewing, so you can start meeting some of the teammates other than just seeing them in one hunt. Because I think if we can get them on here, you have a chance to meet them and talk about them, learn about their careers. I think it kind of adds a more fun and more perspective to actually hear it from them.
Are we
'Cause
going to do
do that.
Are we going to do some podcasting at the ATA shows this year?
I don't
we
know.
should
We
do
didn't
that.
think about that.
I know. I just thought about it right now.
We have a couch in the garage that we could bring in the trailer and set the
Casting couch at the ATA show. Do you want to join Bowhunt or Die? Does your girlfriend know you're here?
Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to have to beep half this episode out here. All right. Justin, bottom line, it is muzzleloader season. It's the 10th. Are you giving up or not? You're acting like you're not stressed. I'm feeling a little stressed.
Why?
I told you. It's just dude,
killed
this
the deer.
time of the year. No, not deer stress, dude. It's just freaking work. Maybe
You're just not used to
maybe
it,
I'm
huh?
not
You're
putting
just
enough
not used-
pressure on you. If you got no stress.
Todd came off of hunting season where he didn't work for 2 months, and now he's like, oh my God, I have to work. This is stressful. This is god awful. How do you do this every day? Eventually, you just get numb to the stress, Todd. You begin to live with it, and you just have a lot of caffeine in the form of Celsius.
No, I just got a bunch of
Coffee.
things that I need to get done so I can get back out there. But I am going to
Yeah, I mean, I'll hunt.
hope that my
I'll
one
hunt
big
some more.
one. I'm hoping that I have one that's still alive that has not. Gosh, I wish. Kind of now that the shotgun season's over, I wish we'd have a little bit of snow just so you can get out there and kind of see what's going on a little bit. I would like that.
Snow is good for late season like scouting to figure out where the deer are at and active. Because what happens if you don't have snow and the ground starts to freeze up, it's like you can't really see.
No.
And it's not like they're rubbing and scraping, so it's kind of just the sign that is there is usually old.
But dude, look at it. It's December the 10th.
We haven't had any like snow. We had one snow that was melted like the next day.
I know, but I'm just talking out loud, dude. With the holiday season, with ATA show.
Yep. I still am going to be angry till the day I die that the a-holes at the ATA make their show while it's still hunting season. Hey, all of you hunters, take a week and come to scenic Indianapolis in
I'm
January
just saying, dude, there's not a
while
lot-
it's still hunting season.
There is not many days
This sounds
left.
like a great
What is
idea.
it? The 18th does it end?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It's got to be maybe
I'm just
that
saying.
19th.
I mean, I it's like this always
Is it
happens
that late
December.
this year? The
I think
19th?
so. I always feel like, oh man, we still got like a whole month left. But man, dude, it's like maybe an actual week worth of actual hunting if you figure out kind of weekends when it's not gun season.
Yeah, because you're limited to hunting on weekends. Don't give me your crap.
I'm just talking, dude. I got to go away for the holiday. I'm just
January
saying,
19th, yes, is the end of the season. So
it's going to be tough to get out there as much as I would
You
like.
got
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You got 6 weekends between now and then. 3 of those 6 are gun seasons.
And 2 of them, I'm completely gone.
Where are you going?
Dude, I'm just saying, with Christmas is one weekend.
Where are you going? I know. But where
Up
are you going?
north to my in-laws, and then
Duluth?
you've got.
You could go visit my
ATA.
sister. She lives in Duluth now. She
In
moved
Duluth?
up there. Yeah,
I did not know that.
you can go hang out with her.
I thought she was in Michigan.
She was in Madison, Wisconsin. Now she was trying to move to Michigan.
Oh,
but-
Madison. That's right, Madison.
Yeah. Now she's in Duluth. Scenic Duluth, Minnesota.
Is she liking Duluth? We're way off topic right now. but
Yeah,
is
I
she
mean,
like
I think
Duluth?
so. She's only been there for a couple weeks.
Okay.
So far, so good. She
couple
she
of
texted me.
weeks.
She had a damn deer in her yard.
Where does she live?
I don't know, in Duluth.
I went to college there.
I don't know.
Anyone go
Look,
to UMD
she-
or live in Duluth? Comment below. I
She
wanna-
said right in her backyard.
"Dude, it's even
I
a
was
little
like,
bit more mature."
yeah, I was like, shoot her. I'm on my way.
Yeah, no doubt.
This
All
is
right.
her backyard. I could sit right in that thing and shoot some deer.
All right. Well, listen, guys. If you haven't had a chance to watch this terrible hunt that everyone is saying I put up, which I'm going to
You're really selling it
completely
there, Todd.
disagree with everyone. I'm disagreeing with everybody.
Todd also disagreed that
This-
his chili was the worst chili.
And if you
but
want to try my
everybody
chili, I got
voted.
some frozen still to try. I'm keeping my chili. I don't care what anybody says. My chili is good. And I think this episode was pretty good. So get out there, watch Illinois Hates Me. Josh Sturgill and I did a great job. That's what I'm saying. End of story.
Everybody that hasn't
Next-
watched it should go watch it and then leave a comment on what they think.
Yes, please do. Please do. More importantly, my hunt is up next week.
It
Is
is.
it this week?
It'll be this week.
Oh, this week.
Yeah.
Brandon, you heard it. You heard him say it. And I think I rose to the occasion compared to that video that I've been being beat up on. But
So you did a good job on your hunt then, and a bad job on Josh's
I did not
hunt.
do a bad
Poor
job on
Josh.
his hunt. I think it was a great hunt. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Yeah, I mean, at least I'm putting some footage out there for people to see, unlike someone who's sitting next to
Gauntlet
me.
has been thrown down.
I think people would rather not even watch your footage. So it was making them sick, ill.
You got nothing,
Sick to
Czar.
their-
You have
Dude.
zero, nothing. Nothing,
that's
Zippo.
accurate.
That's weak sauce.
I filmed a couple does.
Yeah, well, we better be getting a video update. Don't you agree? People want to know what you're really doing out there.
I want to
off
know
your
what
phone.
I'm
they
really
can
doing
find
there.
out from listening to this.
Amy wants to know, what
I
are
sent
you
a-
doing out there?
I know. I come home from hunting and she's like, "Did you kill a deer?" That's what she said every time I walk the door. "Did you kill a deer?" And I just look at her. I'm like, "What do you think?"
Babe,
No?
if I'm here already,
Yeah, yeah. If I'm here right now, like, if I killed a deer, I would be texting you, and you would know.
all right, well, stay tuned. We've got a great hunt coming up. I'm calling it a great hunt. Justin will get an update done here soon.